What's up, guys? My name is Technotuner, and today I'm bringing to you something a little special, given that I'm on a Genesys deck building adventure myself. But I wanted to bring to you guys Yubel Sacred Beast. This deck is a lot of fun, has a lot of fun capability, and while my deck build is a lot different than a lot of others may expect, this deck can give you so much capability to further modify it or build it however you see fit. This deck has a lot of fun, makes your opponent where you have to swing in to Yubel to do really any damage, and it basically allows you to do a lot of destruction effects and get a lot of graveyard play as well, while also having it be based around fusion summoning. Anyways, guys, let's go ahead and hop right into this main deck so I can show you what I mean. So, for our main deck, of course, we're playing one Yubel. For those who do not know what Yubel does, cannot be destroyed by battle. You take no battle damage from battles involving this card. Before damage calculation, if this face-up card is targeted for an attack, inflict damage to your opponent equal to that attacking monster's attack. Once per turn during your end phase, tribute one other monster or destroy this card. When this card is destroyed, except by its own effect, its owner can special summon one Yubel Terra Incarnate from their hand, deck, or graveyard. Which is hilarious because guess what I'm playing? One Yubel Terra Incarnate. Cannot be normal summon or set. Must be special summoned by Yubel. Cannot be destroyed by battle. You take no battle damage from battles involving this card. Before damage calculation, if this face-up attack position card is targeted for an attack, inflict damage to your opponent equal to that attacking monster's attack. Once per turn during your end phase, destroy all other monsters on the field. When this face-up card leaves the field, you can special summon one Yubel, the Ultimate Nightmare, from hand, deck, or graveyard, which makes it even funnier because I'm also playing the one Ultimate Nightmare. You never really see anybody play the Ultimate Nightmare, and a lot of people have basically written Yubel off for the actual Genesys format because Nightmare Throne being 25 and Phantom of Yubel being 76, it makes it really hard for the deck to come back or have any points. But I want to take the challenge and try it out. So, Yubel the Ultimate Nightmare. Cannot be normal summon or set. Must be special summoned by Yubel Terra Incarnate. Cannot be destroyed by battle. You take no battle damage from battles involving this card. At the end of the damage step, if this face-up attack position card battled an opponent's monster, inflict damage to that monster's attack equal to your opponent. Also destroy that monster. So, they swing into it, they take damage, and then it's destroyed. So, on top of that, we have one of each Yubel, but we're also playing one Hamon, one Uriah, and one Raviel. The Sacred Beasts, aka GX's version, and a lot better design Egyptian gods, in my opinion. Hamon cannot be normal summon or set, must be special summoned from your hand by sending 3 face-up continuous spell cards you control to the graveyard. If this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, inflict 1000 damage to your opponent. While this card is face-up defense position, monsters your opponent controls cannot target monsters for attacks except this one. Uriah, Lord of Searing Flames. Cannot be normal summon or set. Must be special summoned from your hand by sending 3 face-up traps you control to the graveyard. This card gains 1000 attack for each continuous trap in your graveyard. Once per turn, you can target one set, spell, or trap your opponent controls, destroy that target. Neither player can activate spell or trap cards in response to this effect activation. Finally, we have Raviel. Cannot be normal summon or set. Must be special summoned from your hand by attributing 3 fiend monsters. Each time your opponent normal summons a monster, special summon 1 phantasm token. Fiend, Dark, level 1, attack 1000, defense 1000, but cannot declare an attack. Once per turn, you contribute 1 monster. This card gains attack equal to the attributed monster's original attack until the end of this turn. So, we have basically the Yu-Gi-Oh! GX Holy Grail here in just 6 cards for like one whole arc. And it is a lot of fun to just have them all working in sync. Now, you're more than curious, like, how are we going to get all of those out? Well, for the Yubel portion, we're playing 3 Samsara D Lotus, 3 Spirit of Yubel, and 3 Gruesome Grave Squirmer. Now, let me go over what each of these do. Samsara D Lotus. You contribute this card. Special summon 1 Yubel monster from your deck during your opponent's turn. When a monster effect is activated while you control a Yubel monster, quick effect. You contribute this card. The activated effect becomes destroy 1 Yubel monster on the field. During your end phase, if you control a Yubel and this card is in your graveyard, you can add this card to your hand or special summon it. You can only use each effect of Samsara D Lotus once per turn. Spirit of Yubel. Cannot be destroyed by battle. You also take no damage from battles involving this card. If this card is destroyed, you can special summon one of your Yubel that is banished in your hand, deck, or graveyard. You can only use each of the following effects of Spirit of Yubel once per turn. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is special summoned, you can add to your hand or set one spell and trap from your deck that mentions Yubel. Then we have Gruesome Grave Squirmer. If you control a fiend monster, quick effect. You can special summon this card from your hand, then you can destroy one Yubel or one monster that mentions it in your monster zone. You can banish this card from your graveyard, special summon one fiend monster with 0 attack from your hand or graveyard except Gruesome Grave Squirmer. You can only use each effect of Gruesome Grave Squirmer once per turn. So, while we have effectively a Battle Fader that can get us Yubel onto the board if it is destroyed, we have Samsara D Lotus, which basically makes it to where we can summon Yubel, and then we have Gruesome Grave Squirmer, which can allow us to summon it from our hand if it's sent to the graveyard and banished by its own effect. So that helps us out greatly. But what about the rest of the cards that deal with like the whole Sacred Beasts aspect? Well, of course, for that we're playing 3 Dark Beckoning Beast, 3 Chaos Summoning Beast, and 2 Dark Summoning Beast. Each of these cards have their own roles to play, which can further help you in your combos. 1. Dark Beckoning Beast. When this card is normal summon, add 1 Uriah, Lord of Searing Flames, Hamon of Striking Thunder, or Raviel, Lord of Phantasms, or 1 card that specifically lists any of those cards from your deck to your hand except Dark Beckoning Beast. You can only use this effect of Dark Beckoning Beast once per turn. During your main phase, you can normal summon 1 Fiend monster with 0 attack and defense in addition to your normal summoner set. You can only gain this effect once per turn. So, when we're going from there, you contribute this card for Chaos Summoning Beast. Chaos Summoning Beast effect, excuse me. You contribute this card, special summon 1 Uriah, Lord of Searing Flames, Hamon, Lord of Striking Thunder, or Raviel, Lord of Phantasms from your hand, ignoring summoning conditions. You can banish this card from your graveyard, add 1 Fallen Paradise from your deck to your hand, and you can only use each effect of Chaos Summoning Beast once per turn. So while being able to special summon a Sacred Beast monster, it gives you the capability of getting the Fallen Paradise to allow you to draw 2 more. Not Sacred Beast cards. Dark Summoning Beast. You contribute this card, special summon 1 Uriah, Lord of Searing Flames, Hamon of Striking Thunder, Raviel of Lord of Phantasms from your hand or deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. Also, monsters you control cannot attack for the rest of this turn. You can only use this effect of Dark Summoning Beast once per turn. You can banish this card from your graveyard, add 1 Uriah, Lord of Searing Flames, Hamon of Striking Thunder, or Raviel, Lord of Phantasms from your deck to your hand. So, giving you that extra search capability while also functioning as a tribute for any of those. So that's all that I have for those. Now, I know you're like, oh, okay. Well, there has to be some more monsters that you're running, right? Well, you would be right. I'm also running 2 Boyo the Dawn's Light and 3 Mulcharmy Fualos. While this card has a lot of capability for Boyo, it allows us to get Mutiny in the Sky when special summoned, and we can target one of our fiends or farrier monster. You can target 1 fiend effect monster you control, negates effects, and if you do, special summon this card. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can add 1 Mutiny in the Sky from your deck to your hand, which is very helpful. However, monsters in the leftmost or rightmost main monster zones cannot be destroyed by card effects, which helps out as well, because if we're trying to protect something from being destroyed, we can place it in the leftmost or rightmost and then summon Boyo, which can help us out protect it, or just being able to give us another body on board for tribute for Yubel effect. Fualos is just an extra card to help us get some extra draws in if we need it going second. Alright, so that's all the monsters that I'm playing in the actual main deck, but what about the spells and traps? Because I know people are going to be asking, well, if you're playing Nightmare Throne, it's going to be 25 points a pop, and Fualos is 7, Super Poly is 13, you're going to be kind of looking at a heavy board anyways. You would be right on that. However, I'm playing 1 Nightmare Throne and 2 Fallen Paradise as my only field spells. Nightmare Throne, while very helpful, it does come with a downside for the deck, because when this card is activated, you can take one Fiend monster with 0 attack or defense from your deck, either add to your hand or destroy it. Once per turn, if a face-up Yubel monster you control leaves the field by card effect, you can add to your hand one Yubel monster from your deck, graveyard, or banishment whose original level is 1 higher or 1 lower than those monsters. Then you can special summon it, ignoring summoning conditions. So that does help out a lot. However, the thing is, we're not going to be utilizing that effect that much, because what we want is Fallen of Paradise, which makes it to where your opponent cannot target Uriah, Lord of Searing Flames, Hamon, Lord of Striking Thunder, or Raviel, Lord of Phantasms, or Armatile, the Chaos Phantom, in your monster zones with card effects. Also, those monsters cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects while you control them. If you control Uriah, Lord of Searing Flames, Hamon, Lord of Striking Thunder, Raviel, Lord of Phantasms, or Armatile, the Chaos Phantom, in your monster zone, you can draw 2 cards. You only use this effect of Fallen Paradise once per turn. That's perfectly fine, because this is the one we're really wanting to see most of all, as just an extra draw and being able to set up our bigger Sacred Beast monsters with extra protection. Next up, I'm playing 3 Nightmare Pain and 2 Opening of the Spirit Gates. I know it seems a little backwards given the whole aspect of the deck, but the reason why I'm doing this is because Nightmare Pain, during your main phase, you can destroy 1 dark monster in your hand or face-up field, and if you do, add 1 Yubel, or 1 card that mentions it, from your deck to your hand, except Nightmare Pain. You can only use this effect of Nightmare Pain once per turn. While you control a Yubel monster, your opponent's monsters that can attack must attack Yubel monsters. Your opponent takes any battle damage you would have taken from battles involving your Yubel monsters. That is great, because it forces the battle trigger with Yubel or any of the Yubel monsters, and if you have Hamon on board, that's an attack block, or attack lock, because they have to attack Hamon, but Nightmare Pain makes it to where they have to attack Yubel. So since they can't attack both at the same time, they can't attack at all. Opening of the Spirit Gates. When this card is activated, add 1 Uriah, Lord of Searing Flames, Hamon of Lord of Striking Thunder, or Raviel, Lord of Phantasms, or 1 monster that specifically lists any of those cards in its text from your deck to your hand once per turn. You can discard 1 card, special summon 1 Fiend monster with 0 attack and defense from your graveyard. Once per turn, if you control a level 10 monster, you can add 1 continuous spell from your graveyard to your hand. You can only activate 1 Opening of the Spirit Gates per turn. So, it never stated that you can't get an Opening of Spirit Gates off an Opening of Spirit Gates, but it also allows you to get Nightmare Pain if you need it. For the rest of the spells, I'm playing 2 Super Polymerization, 1 Mutiny in the Sky, and 1 Polymerization, along with 1 Mature Chronicle. Now, for most people, they're like, well, what is Mutiny in the Sky? Well, for Mutiny in the Sky, you fusion summon 1 Fiend or Fairy fusion monster from your extra deck by shuffling Fiend and or Fairy monsters from your graveyard into the deck as material. If this card is in your graveyard, you can send 1 Fiend or Fairy monster from your hand or face-up field to the graveyard, add this card to your hand. You can only use each effect of Mutiny in the Sky once per turn. So basically, it's just a way to get further recovery and put more cards that you want back in your deck into your deck for the longer game. Now, for those that don't know what Mature Chronicle is, let's go over it. Each time a monster is special summoned that is Yubel monster or mentions Yubel, place 1 Chronicle counter on this card. You can remove Chronicle counters from your field to activate one of these effects. 1. Special summon a Yubel from your graveyard. 2. Add 1 of your banished cards to your hand. 3. Banish 1 card from your deck. 4. Destroy 1 card in the field. Or 5. Add 1 Super Polymerization from your deck to your hand. You can only use this effect of Mature Chronicle once per turn. While this card is very helpful, it lets you get some extra recovery in, but also allowing you to search Super Polymerization as you need it. For those as well that are looking for other cards to run, I'm also running 1 Eternal Favorite. Because the Eternal Favorite is basically a Super Poly during your opponent's turn. Because once per turn, you can activate one of these effects, but you can only use each effect of Eternal Favorite once per turn. Special summon 1 of your Yubel monsters that is banished or in your graveyard. Another player can activate cards or effects when that monster is special summon. Or, if you control a Yubel monster, discard 1 card, then send this face-up card to the graveyard. Fusion summon 1 fusion monster from your extra deck using monsters from either field as material, including a Yubel monster. So it basically allows us to go into our fusion monsters, such as the Loving Defender, which can help us out greatly. But That's all I'm running for the actual main deck. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what our extra deck is all about. So for our extra deck, of course, since we're playing Super Poly, we're playing 1 Mud Dragon of Swamp. We're playing 1 Garura, Wings of Resonant Life. However, some interesting things that I've put in are 1 Predator Plant Dragostapelia, which requires 1 fusion monster plus 1 dark monster. Once per turn, quick effect, you can target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls, place 1 predator counter on it, and if it is a level 2 or higher, it becomes level 1. As long as it has a predator counter, negate the activated effects of your opponent's monsters that have predator counters. So basically, quick effect negate of a monster on board. Mud Dragon of the Swamp and Garura. You guys have seen this a lot in my other deck profiles. But for those that may be just joining in this time, Mud Dragon of the Swamp requires 2 monsters with the same attribute but different types. Your opponent cannot target this card or monsters on the field with the same attribute as this card with card effects. Once per turn, quick effect, you can declare 1 attribute. This card becomes that attribute until the end of this turn. Garura, Wings of Resonant Life. 2 monsters with the same type and attribute, but different names. Any battle damage your opponent takes from battles involving this card is doubled. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can draw 1 card. You can only use this effect of Garura, Wings of Resonant Life once per turn. So those being my generic fusions, we have a few other cards that we're utilizing, such as Loose the Dusk's Dark. If you guys have seen my Burning Abyss Fiendsmith deck profile, this card is in there. It is a wonderful card in which it requires 3 Fiend and or Fairy monsters in your graveyard, which you can summon off of Mutiny in the Sky. Monsters in your leftmost or rightmost main monster zone cannot be destroyed by card effects. You can only use each of the following effects of Loose the Dusk's Dark once per turn. You can target 1 card your opponent controls, send 1 Fiend or Fairy monster from your deck to the graveyard, and if you do, destroy that card. If another card you control is destroyed by a card effect, except during damage step, you can target 1 card on the field and destroy it. So, basically allowing an extra pop in there if you need it. For an interesting tech, I'm playing 1 Saint Azamina. Then I'm playing 2 Yubel, the Loving Defender, 2 Armatile Phantasm, or the Chaos Phantasm of Fury. Oh, excuse me, it's only 1. And then 1 Armatile the Chaos Phantasm. Now, a lot of people are going to be like, well, why are you playing Saint Azamina? A lot more people are picking up Synchro decks and playing them in Genesys format. And if there's a level 6 or higher, you can use 1 fusion. So 1 of my fusions, it's a level 6 or higher, along with 1 Synchro monster, it's a level 6 or higher. What can I do with that? Well, it makes it to where your opponent cannot target cards in their field, graveyard, or banishment, or this card on the field. With card effects, your opponent takes any battle damage you would have taken. If this card was fusion summoned this turn, quick effect. Special summon level 9 or lower Azamina monster from your deck or extra deck, and you only use this effect of Saint Azamina once per turn. We're not utilizing that effect, but we can if you want to run Regina to get an extra pop in. But you can summon it in defense, and if you're really wanting to, you can summon it in attack. And when they attack, they take the battle damage, and you don't, but it will die because it does not have invulnerability to battle. Sorry. Yubel, the Loving Defender, requires 1 Yubel monster plus 1 or more effect monsters on the field. If this card is fusion summoned, you can inflict 500 damage to your opponent for each material used. You can only use this effect of Yubel, the Loving Defender, forever once per turn. Cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. Also, you take no battle damage from battles involving this card. At the end of the damage step, if this card battle an opponent's monster, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the opponent's monster's attack. And if you do, banish that monster. So while it is basically, okay, you swing in, you do damage. Oh, well, you're not doing damage to me. You're doing damage to yourself, and that monster's now banished. Okay, you're also getting an extra burn, which can help out greatly. Next up, we have 1 Armatile the Chaos Phantasm, Phantom of Fury. Now, this card is really crazy because this card's name becomes Armatile Chaos Phantasm while on the field. Once per turn during your main phase, you can give control of this card to your opponent. Once per turn during the end phase, if this card's control was changed this turn, banish all other cards you control, then the owner of this card can special summon one Armatal, the Chaos Phantasm, from their extra deck, ignoring its summon conditions. So basically, you give it to your opponent, they banish all their cards at the end step of the turn, and then we get to summon Armatal, the Chaos Phantasm. Must be special summoned from your extra deck by banishing the above cards you control. You do not use polymerization, cannot be destroyed by battle, and gains 10,000 attack during your turn only. So that's what turns these Sacred Beasts into a giant OTK machine. Now, as I was stating, some people do play Synchro packages, and they are correct. I do play a few level 2 tuners, which I think it's a... Oh, give me 1 second here. I'll pull it out and show you guys what I'm talking about, because this deck has a lot of capability. But you can play Tricorn the Cacophonous Concert in there, because it's a level 2 tuner. If a monster in your possession is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can target one monster in your graveyard with both the same type and attribute as a monster you control. Add that monster to your hand. You can only use each effect of Tricorn the Cacophonous Concert once per turn. That's fine, but it is more of a side deck card overall. This is why I play in my main deck the actual Synchros in case I want to, which is Groza, Tyrant of Thunder, Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend, and Snake Eyes Vengeance Dragon. Because you have a lot of level 10s, you can use that and the Cacophonous to go into this, which can make it to where during the main phase, you could quick effect. You can target one face-up monster on the field, or in either graveyard, place it face up in its owner's spell and trap zone as a continuous spell. Also, this card cannot use this effect next turn. During the battle phase, quick effect, you can target one monster and one continuous spell in the field, destroy them. You can only use each effect of Snake Eyes Vengeance Dragon once per turn. Scarlight is just in here, but if you're looking to replace him with a Dark Fiend, Dark Highlander is a great one because it does give you options for level 7 play, which can also prevent your opponent from Synchro summoning. If this card, for Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend specifically though, if this card is Synchro summoned, this card's name becomes Red Dragon Archfiend while it's on the field or in the graveyard. Once per turn, you can destroy as many special summoned effect monsters on the field as possible with attack less than or equal to this card's other than this card, then inflict 500 damage to your opponent for each monster destroyed. Next, we have Groza, Tyrant of Thunder. During your opponent's main phase quick effect, you target one effect monster on the field. Discard one monster. If you do, negate that monster's effect until the end of this turn. You can only use this effect of Groza, Tyrant Thunder once per turn. If a Fiend monster is sent from the hand to your graveyard, except during the damage step, you can apply one of the following effects to this card until the end of this turn. Cannot be destroyed by battle, cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. Your opponent cannot target this card with card effects. So, 3 Synchro monsters out of a long list that you can run for this deck that can help you in a lot of different ways. Next up, I am playing a small Xyz package, which are 2 Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Gustav Max and 1 Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Juggernaut Lieb. Since we play a good amount of level 10s, you can utilize them to go into Rail Cannon, which can allow you to, once per turn, detach one material from this card, inflict 2,000 damage to your opponent, so it can allow you for an easier OTK, especially if you go into Lieb. Once per turn, you can also Xyz summon Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Juggernaut Lieb using a rank 10 Xyz monster you control as material. Transfers materials to this card. Once per turn, you can detach one material from this card, it gains 2,000 attack and defense. Also, for the rest of this turn, you can only declare an attack with this card during each battle phase. This card can make attacks on all monsters up to the number of materials it has +1. So, basically, if it has 2 materials, it can make 2 attacks. If it has 1 material, it can only make 1 attack, but it can only make that attack on monsters. Anyways, guys, that's the deck profile that I have for you guys today. I hope you guys did enjoy it. This deck is a lot of fun, has a lot of capability to be even stronger in Genesys, given either the point reduction that they did for Throne of Nightmare, or with just any kind of build that you want to do. Either way, I hope you greatly enjoyed the video, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.
Is it okay if I'm to say I'm catching feelings from all the dealings. Am I astray? What do you say? How are you feeling? Is it the same?